Hello again, everyone. Scoons Comics here with another exciting, thrilling comic book haul! Yes! Happy 4th of July, everybody! I have a little tiny haul this week. I went all out last week, people. I made it my mission to go find books, not just at the comic shop. I got tired of the comic shop, not finding things there. I said, by God, I'm going to hit the pawn shops. I'm going to go up into... I live in northern Indiana. I was going to go up into southern Michigan. I know there's like 5 antique malls up there. There's a couple of antique malls in a neighboring town here. I'm going to hit all these things, and I'm going to see if I can find some hidden gems. I'm going to see if I can find some gold buried amongst all the rubble. I found one comic book. There were comics. There were comics at all these places. To their credit, the antique malls, the pawn shops, all had comics. They're all either complete and utter garbage, and for me to say they're garbage, that means something, because a lot of my collection people would consider to be garbage. So very eclectic. Or things that were like, oh, okay, this book's kind of nice, wildly overpriced. Like, it was, I don't know. It was very disappointing. However, at one of the pawn shops in a dollar bin, I found issue 5 of a 6-issue miniseries that I've been trying to complete for years. And I could have bought this book online, but I just didn't want to pay for it. With shipping and everything would have cost more, and I just couldn't find the thing. And I was determined I'd find it in a dollar bin or a quarter bin or a 50-cent bin somewhere at some show at some time. And by God, in this pawn shop, I found this book. So I finally read the whole miniseries, and it was really good. So I am going to shine a spotlight on this miniseries that people don't tend to talk about. Image Comics, founded in 1992, bunch of superstar Marvel artists, disgruntled, looking for creator rights, looking to take ownership of their characters and reap the profits thereof, formed this company. And Spawn, character very popular still, Rob Liefeld's Youngblood, Jim Lee's Wildcats, all record sales. But then, within the first year, they published this miniseries called 1963 that was written by comic book legend Alan Moore. And it was basically Alan Moore's take on the Silver Age of Marvel. Marvel Comics Silver Age started in 62, 63. And this was his spin on it in 6 issues. So we're going to start talking about it. And it's charming. It's vicious to Stan Lee. Alan Moore is not a Stan Lee fan. He feels Stan Lee stole all the concepts, took credit for things he should not have taken credit for. All the art, your Jack Kirby's, your Steve Ditko's, were completely pushed aside in his mind's eye by Stan Lee's personality, cult of personality. So there's like Stan does his Stan Lee soapbox in all his Marvel comics. Alan Moore does something similar in all these, but playing a very Stan Lee-esque character. Sometimes subtly taking digs, other times taking hard, just right crosses at the man. He refers to one of Stan Lee's books. Stan Lee has a book that was popular called Sons of Marvel Comics, where he writes various intros for each character, kind of alluding to how he created each character, more or less on his own. And in the book here, in one of the comics, Alan Moore says, check out my new book, How I Created Everything All by Myself. Okay, that's fine. But anyway, it's very charming if you look beyond that to these characters and his portrayals. So, we got 1963 Book 1 featuring Mystery Incorporated, which is Alan Moore's take on the Fantastic Four. Again, very charming. These books are all drawn by Rick Vett and Stephen Bissette. Long collaborators with Alan Moore. The books look great. They have a great classic 60s feel. Very cool. So here's Book 1. Then we got Book 2. No one escapes the Fury. The Fury is his take on Spider-Man and Daredevil. A little bit of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. thrown in here. Very cool. Very cool. All these books play off each other. They all stand as kind of standalones, but they reference characters in other ones until we get to Book 6. So very cool. Then we got 1963 Book 3, Tales of the Uncanny, featuring USA, the Ultimate Special Agent. And the Hypernauts, I believe, is in here, which is kind of a take on Iron Man. And, of course, USA is take on Captain America. Very cool book. Again, they're just charming. They're charming books. If you see these in the quarter bins, or you can pick up this set somewhere, like a lot of these comic shows will sell sets of books on the cheap. Oh, pick this up. It's a lot of fun. Then we got 1963 Book 4, featuring the unbelievable N-Man and Johnny Beyond. N-Man is the Incredible Hulk. N-Man is like, I don't know, like a hippie Doctor Strange. Very interesting character. But the books are so cool. They're if you enjoy Marvel Comics, and especially Silver Age Marvel, you really need to read this. It's so entertaining. Then the book that I searched for years and finally dug out of a pawn shop. When I bought, the guy looked at me very strangely, but I get that look sometimes. Sometimes just at the supermarket. Anyway, 1963 Book 5 featuring Horus, Lord of Light. This is, or Horus, I would say Horus, I don't know. This is the take on Thor. Instead of using Norse mythology, we go to the ancient gods of Egypt. So, pretty cool book. I was overjoyed to stumble upon this in the dollar bin. I think I might have let out a ha when I actually saw it. And finally, it gets wrapped up, sort of wrapped up, in book 6, featuring the Tomorrow Syndicate, which has all these characters teaming up in an Avengers-style team-up and introduces a couple other characters that are like Ant-Man and the Wasp. So very cool. And then, so this was all then going to be tied together with the superheroes of the Image universe in a big annual that was going to come out, written by Alan Moore and drawn by Jim Lee. And it was advertised the end of this issue. Never happened. Many reasons why it did not happen. Jim Lee got busy. Alan Moore got less interested. There was a lot of infighting at Image. Partners left. Partners came back. It just never was finished. And that's kind of the hallmark of Image Comics. Things either being late or not shipping. At least with the original founders. Now Image Comics is like HBO. There's like 9 trillion different series. Creators can do the most outrageous stories ever. And it's pretty darn cool. But this series is a hidden gem in the early days of Image Comics. Not talked about much, not thought much of, other than that the annual didn't actually get produced. But these 6 issues on their own, they're just charming. They're charming and a little savage to Stan Lee. But if you ignore the savageness to Stan Lee, they're just charming books. Go pick them up. And that's what I have this week, people. You all have a happy 4th of July. Be careful out there. Those fireworks are dangerous. And yeah, I'll be back next week. I got a little something brewing. I'll be back next week. Please hit the like button, subscribe, comment. I love your comments. Thank you so much for all of you who've been leaving comments lately. And I will see you all next week.